Greece celebrated the 84th anniversary of Ochi Day, which marked the country's entry into World War II on the side of the Allies. On October 28, 1940, then Prime Minister Ioannis Metaxas responded with a resounding no, the meaning of the word Ochi, to an Italian ultimatum for surrender, conveying the sentiment of the Greek people against the Axis and the volition to fight against overwhelming odds. The Greek military victories in the mountains of southern Albania were the first setback for the conquering Axis in the European theatre of war. The annual military parade took place in Thessaloniki, with similar parades by armed forces units around the country, along with pupils' marches. The Greek member of the European Parliament, Fredi Beleri, was attacked outside the parliament in Tirana, Albania, when a group of unknown individuals hurled eggs and yogurt against him. A video shows a man verbally attacking Beleri, shouting, "You're a disgrace, shame on those who put you in politics and the European Parliament." After the attack, Beleri accused the Albanian government of disregarding the European Union it wished to join. It is displaying contempt for the international agreements it had signed for the protection of diplomatic missions, he said. Beleri was refused a scheduled meeting with Albanian Prime Minister Rama, who received the other MEPs. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier was in Greece for an official 3-day visit, where he met with the country's leadership. The German president met with his Greek counterpart Katerina Sakellarapoulou and Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, both of whom raised the highly contentious issue of World War II reparations to Greece on the occasion of the Ochi celebrations. In a reply to the Greek president's statements at the presidential mansion, Steinmeier said the standing German position on the matter had closed. Mitsotakis echoed the Greek president's sentiments on the reparations, underlining that the issue of the occupation loan is still very much alive, expressing hope that it could be resolved at some point. According to Eurostat, inflation in Greece reached 3.2% in October, recording a slight increase from 3.1% in September. On a monthly basis, Greece experienced a 0.2% rise, underscoring sustained cost increases. In Europe's common monetary bloc, the Eurozone, the consumer price index settled at 2% from 1.7% the previous month. Services experienced the highest annual rate in October at 3.9%, followed by food, alcohol and tobacco at 2.9%, up from 2.4%. Germany and France also saw a rise in inflation to 2% in October, compared to September. One man was killed and a woman was seriously injured during an explosion in downtown Athens last week. The Greek anti-terrorism squad, which took control of the investigation, said the explosion was caused by an accidental blast of an improvised explosive device. 2 weapons were also found in the apartment. Police are investigating another woman identified as possessing the keys to the apartment. The powerful blast resulted in extensive damage to the apartment, while the adjacent apartments in the building were also damaged. According to sources, the deceased man appears to have been assembling an explosive device at the time of the explosion. Greek Finance Minister Kostis Hatzidakis announced that the government planned to implement 12 tax reductions in 2025. Addressing the annual tax forum organized by the Hellenic American Chamber of Commerce, the minister said the government wanted to further cut taxes not to pander to the electorate, but because it could. Hatzidakis added that further reductions could be made in 2026 and 2027, initially because Greece is expected to achieve higher growth than the EU average. He stressed that thanks to the new anti-tax evasion measures, those who diligently paid their taxes would see a lower burden. Hatzidakis noted that for the first time the average salaried employee pays less tax than the average self-employed individual. The Greek Defence Ministry is reportedly preparing a draft bill for the voluntary military service of women that would be linked with various incentives. Currently, a large number of women serve as officers and non-commissioned officers in the 3 armed forces branches, as well as in the Hellenic Coast Guard, including on warships and as pilots. These positions, however, entail graduation from military academies, all of which require admission through the nationwide university entrance exams. A similar plan for female voluntary military service was first introduced back in the late 1970s in return for bonuses towards future employment in the country's civil service or wider public sector.